stepped off the shuttle and took her first breath of recycled alien air. It smelled strange, like metal and flowers mixed together. Station 12 stretched before her, a massive ring of metal floating in space where dozens of alien species came to trade and talk. She was the first human to ever walk these halls as an official representative of Earth. She was not what they expected. The aliens who passed her in the corridor towered over her small frame. Some had scales, some had fur, some had too many eyes or not enough legs. They all looked at her the same way with confusion and something close to pity. She was soft. She was small. She had no claws, no fangs, no armor on her skin. To them she looked like prey. Smiled at each one who stared. Her smile was warm and easy, but if anyone looked closely, they would see that it never quite reached her dark eyes. A tall, insect-like creature approached her. He stood 8 feet tall, covered in black armor that was part of his own body. His name was, and he was one of the leaders of the Galactic Trade Council. He looked down at the way a person might look at a small dog that had wandered into an important meeting. "You are the human representative," said. His voice clicked and buzzed. "I am," replied. "Thank you for having me." "We shall see if thanks are deserved," said. He turned and walked away, expecting her to follow. She did, still smiling. The council chamber was enormous. Hundreds of seats rose in circles around a central platform. Representatives from 40 different species filled those seats, and every single one of them turned to look when walked in. She heard whispers in languages she did not understand. She did not need to understand them to know what they were saying. "She looks weak, she looks fragile. Why did the humans send her?" Took her place on the central platform. Beside her stood Ambassador, a beautiful creature who seemed to be made of flowing water and soft light. Species had evolved in oceans on a peaceful world. They were gentle, telepathic, and kind. She was the only one who looked at with curiosity instead of dismissal. On the other side stood Trade Master. He was a mountain of muscle and scales, a reptile who stood 7 feet tall and probably weighed 400 pounds. His species ruled their world through pure physical power. He did not even bother to look at. She was beneath his notice. The ceremony began, explained that it was tradition for new species to present information about their. Specifically, each species was expected to show their world's apex predator, the most dangerous hunter on their planet. It was a show of strength, a way to earn respect. One by one, the established species showed holographic images of terrible creatures. They displayed a beast with acid for blood and jaws that could bite through steel. They showed a pack hunter that worked in groups of 20 to bring down prey 10 times their size. This peaceful people showed a creature from their deep oceans that killed with psychic attacks, making its prey want to swim into its mouth. Each presentation earned nods of respect. Each species was judged by the monsters their world had created. Then it was turn. "Human representative," said, his voice carrying across the silent chamber. "What is Earth's apex predator? What creature sits at the top of your food chain?" Every eye in the room focused on. She could feel their expectations. They were waiting for her to show some massive beast, some terrifying monster that might earn humanity a small amount of respect. Grinned. It was not her polite smile from before. This was something different, something sharper. She raised her hand and pointed directly at herself. "You are looking at her," she said. For a moment there was only silence. Then the laughter began. It started with a deep rumbling sound that shook his massive chest. Then joined in, his clicks and buzzes mixing with the noise. Soon, the entire chamber was laughing at the small human woman who thought she was dangerous. Stood perfectly still. Her grin did not waver, she waited. When the laughter finally died down, shook his head. "You cannot be serious, human. Look at yourself. You have no natural weapons, no armor. You are soft and slow and small. Surely your world has something more impressive than your species." "We have many dangerous creatures," agreed. We have sharks that smell blood from miles away. We have tigers that can crush bone with one bite. We have snakes with venom that kills in minutes. We have spiders, bears, crocodiles, wolves. She paused. We killed them all. We hunted them. We drove them to the edges of our world. We put them in cages and called them attractions for our children to look at. Some of them we made into pets. The laughter had stopped. The chamber was very quiet now. Every dangerous creature on Earth, continued, learned to fear us. The ones that did not learn are extinct. So when you ask me what Earth's apex predator is, I am giving you the honest answer. It is us. It has always been us. His armored face showed no expression, but his voice had lost some of its mockery. Bold words for a small creature. "I am happy to prove them," said, "whenever you are ready." Studied her for a long moment. Then he made a sound that might have been a laugh or might have been something else entirely. "Very well, human. There is a neutral world not far from here. A death world, unsuitable for colonization. We use it sometimes for cultural exchanges of a physical nature. If you truly believe your species deserves respect, you will accept my invitation to prove it there." His grin widened. "I accept," she said. "I thought you would never ask." Watched the exchange with her large, luminous eyes. She did not know what a human was truly capable of, but something in smile made her feel, for the first time in her long life, like prey. The council meeting ended, but did not return to her quarters. Instead, she found a quiet observation deck where she could watch the stars spin slowly past the station's windows. She was not surprised when she heard soft footsteps behind her. "You are not afraid," said. It was not a question. The ambassador's bioluminescent skin glowed softly in the dim light, colors shifting like oil on water. "I can feel emotions, human. Most creatures who face challenge feel fear. You feel nothing but calm." "I feel plenty," said. "I am just very good at controlling it." Moved to stand beside her at the window. "I would like to understand. My people are peaceful. We have never been hunters, but I have lived long enough to know that there are many kinds of strength. Will you explain your claim to me?" Turned to look at the alien ambassador. Of all the species she had met today, people seemed the most genuinely curious rather than dismissive. That deserved honesty. "Come with me," said. "I will show you." They walked to the station's archive chamber, a vast room filled with floating holographic displays. Any species could access information here about any registered world. Entered Earth's coordinates and waited. The room filled with blue light as Earth appeared before them, a small marble of green and blue hanging in the darkness. "Beautiful," said. "Yes," agreed, "and deadly." She began pulling up data files, and the station's computer translated everything into visual displays that could understand. "Earth's gravity is 1 g," said. "That is higher than 60% of all inhabited worlds in your database. Everything on Earth is built strong just to stand up." The display showed comparison charts. Had gravity of 0.6 g's world was 0.7, was 0.85. Earth was heavier than all of them. "Our atmosphere is 21% oxygen," continued. "To many species, that is a corrosive poison. Breathing our air would burn their lungs from the inside." His glow flickered with unease. Her own atmosphere was mostly nitrogen with only trace oxygen. 70% of our planet's surface is covered in water," smiled slightly. "Your people would call water a universal solvent. It dissolves almost anything given enough time. We drink it. We swim in it for fun." "For fun," repeated slowly. "We have creatures with venom on every continent. Spiders smaller than my fingernail that can kill with one bite. Snakes that inject poison to dissolve your organs while you are still alive. Jellyfish that sting with thousands of tiny needles filled with toxins. Fish with enough electricity in their bodies to stop a heart." The holographic display cycled through images of Earth's wildlife. Watched with growing horror as creature after creature appeared, each one more dangerous than the last. Our planet has bacteria and viruses that wage constant war against all living things. We carry billions of tiny organisms inside our own bodies. Some help us. Some try to kill us. Our immune systems fight a war every single day just to keep us alive. Hal whispered, "Does anything survive on your world?" "By being tough," said simply. "By being adaptable, by refusing to die." She pulled up a new display, this one showing ancient humans. They were small, thin figures with no claws, no fangs, no armor. They looked weak. Millions of years ago, my ancestors lived on a continent filled with predators. Lions, hyenas, wild dogs, all of them faster and stronger than us. We should have been easy prey. We should have died out. The display showed a human pack following a large antelope across an open plain. But we learned something. We learned that we could do something no other creature could do. We could keep going. Every animal on Earth, no matter how strong or fast, eventually has to stop and rest. Their bodies overheat. Their muscles give out. They have to sleep. The hologram showed the antelope running, stopping, running again. The humans just walked. They never stopped walking. Humans can walk for days without stopping. We sweat to cool ourselves down, something almost no other Earth creature does well. Our bodies are designed for one thing above all else: endurance. The antelope in the display collapsed. The humans caught up to it, still walking, not even breathing hard. "We call it persistence hunting," said. "We did not chase our prey until we caught it. We chased it until it died of exhaustion, until its heart gave out, until it simply could not run anymore. And then we ate it." Its colors had shifted to pale, frightened blues. You followed them until they died. For days sometimes, across deserts and mountains, through heat that would kill other predators. Nothing could escape us. Nothing could hide from us. We would find you, we would follow you, and eventually you would fall. The archive chamber was very quiet. The hologram faded, leaving only the soft glow of skin. "The Council database has classified Earth," the computer announced suddenly, responding to the data had entered. "Earth is designated a Class 12 death world. This classification indicates conditions unsuitable for colonization by 97% of known species. Exposure to Earth's environment would result in death for most galactic life forms. Turn to with new eyes. You come from a death world." "We come from a death world," agreed. "And we conquered it. Every monster, every disease, every challenge our planet threw at us, we survived. We adapted. We overcame." "And the other predators, the ones you mentioned, the sharks and tigers and wolves?" Smile returned, soft and dangerous. "Wolves were our biggest competition once. Pack hunters, smart and deadly. They almost wiped us out several times." She paused. "So we made a deal with them. We gave them food and shelter. They gave us loyalty and help with hunting. Over thousands of years, we changed them. We made them smaller, friendlier, more obedient. We turned our greatest enemy into our best friend." She pulled up one final image: a human child hugging a golden retriever. "We call them dogs now. We keep them in our homes. Our children sleep beside them. We made apex predators into family pets because we could, because nothing on Earth could stop us from doing whatever we wanted." Stared at the image for a long time. Then she asked the question that had been building since first pointed at herself in the council chamber. "What do you want, human? Why are you really here?" Before could answer, an alarm began to sound. Red lights flashed across the archive chamber. An automated voice announced an emergency. "Attention all stations. Pirate vessel has seized cargo ship Endless Profit. Hostages confirmed from 3 council species. Military response time estimated at 12 hours. Repeat, military response time is 12 hours. Was already moving toward the door. "Where are you going?" called after her. Looked back over her shoulder, and her eyes had changed. They were no longer the eyes of a diplomat making polite conversation. They were the eyes of something much older, something that had spent millions of years learning how to hunt. 12 hours is too long, said. Those people need help now. What can you do? You are one human. Smiled that sharp, dangerous smile. One human is all I need. She was gone before could respond, running toward the shuttle bay with the tireless endurance of a creature that never, ever stopped. The cargo ship Endless Prophet drifted in the darkness between stars, its engines cold, its lights flickering. Inside, 30 pirates from 5 different species patrolled the corridors with weapons drawn. They had taken the ship in less than 10 minutes. The crew had surrendered quickly. That was how it usually went. Captain Mox walked through his new prize with satisfaction. He was like trade master, but where had chosen politics, Mox had chosen blood. Scars covered his scaled face, each one a memory of violence. He had killed members of 12 different species in his career. He feared nothing. The hostages are secure, one of his crew reported. 23 prisoners and civilians. Good, Mox rumbled. The council will pay well for their safe return, and if they refuse, we will send pieces back one at a time until they change their minds. What Mox did not know was that there had been 25 people on the ship when he attacked. 2 of them were not in the prisoner hold. 2 of them were human. Pressed herself deeper into the maintenance tunnel, controlling her breathing, making herself small and silent. She was 28 years old, a security officer assigned to protect the cargo ship's passengers. When the pirates had attacked, she had been in the engine room doing routine checks. She had heard the screams, the gunfire, the announcements of surrender. She had wanted to run out and fight. Instead, she had done what her training taught her. She had hidden, she had waited, she had survived. Now she was alone in the guts of the ship, armed with nothing but a metal wrench and her own 2 hands. The other human, an engineer named, had been captured with the rest, was the only one left. She should have felt afraid. Instead, she felt something else, something that hummed in her blood like electricity. The same feeling her ancestors had felt when they first picked up rocks and sticks and decided they were tired of being prey. Her communicator crackled softly. Someone was trying to reach her on a secure channel. This is Ambassador of Earth, calling any surviving crew of the Endless Prophet. Please respond. Almost laughed. An ambassador, what could a diplomat possibly do? This is security officer, she whispered. I am alive, hidden in the maintenance tunnels near the engine room. Everyone else has been captured. Good's voice came back, calm and steady. Help is 12 hours away. We are not going to wait that long. I need you to be my eyes and hands on that ship. Can you do that? Thought about the 30 armed pirates between her and the hostages. She thought about her wrench and her empty hands. She thought about everything she had learned about being human, about what her species was capable of when pushed to the limit. Yes, she said, tell me what to do. On Station 12, stood in a command center surrounded by council members. They had given her access to the ship's external sensors and communication systems. Watched with his arms crossed, clearly expecting failure. You cannot be serious, he said. One unarmed human against 30 pirates, this is suicide. Watch, said simply, and learn. She opened a channel to. First, tell me about the ship. Layout, patrol patterns, anything you know. Began to talk, describing what she had observed before hiding. The pirates moved in pairs, checking corridors every 15 minutes. The hostages were held in the cargo bay, guarded by 6 pirates. Captain Mox stayed on the bridge with his lieutenants. They think they have won, said. They are relaxed, careless. Good, that is their first mistake. Pulled up the ship's blueprints on her display. Here is what we are going to do. You are not going to fight 30 pirates. You are going to hunt them, one by one, slowly, quietly. By the time they realize what is happening, half of them will already be gone. Smiled in the darkness of her tunnel. I understand. She began to move. The first pirate she found was alone, checking a storage room. He was tall and armored, but he had made the mistake of setting his weapon down while he searched through crates. Came up behind him like a shadow. The wrench connected with the soft spot at the base of his skull before he even knew she was there. He fell without a sound, took his weapon, a compact energy pistol, and disappeared back into the tunnels. The second and third pirates were together, but they were arguing about something, distracted. Waited until they separated at a junction, then took down the slower one. When his partner came back to check on him, she was waiting. 3 down, 27 to go. In the command center, the council watched through the ship's internal cameras. They saw a small human woman moving through corridors like a ghost. They saw pirates falling one by one, never seeing their attacker. They saw something they had never seen before. "She is hunting them," whispered, "like you described, patient, tireless." "Humans do not get tired," said. "Not like other species. We can keep going for days if we have to. And she knows something the pirates do not." "What is that?" "Time is on her side. Every minute that passes, they get more tired, more scared, more careless. She just has to keep moving, keep hunting. Sooner or later, they will make mistakes." An hour passed, then 2, took down 5 more pirates. The ship began to feel different. The remaining pirates stopped their casual patrols. They started moving in groups of 3 and 4. They jumped at shadows. They argued with each other. Fear was spreading. Then made her first mistake. She was moving between tunnels when a pirate spotted her. He fired, and the energy blast caught her across the arm, burning through her uniform and into the flesh beneath. Bit down on her lip to keep from screaming. Blood ran down her arm, hot and wet. The pain was enormous. On Station 12 leaned forward. "She is wounded, it is over." But was not stopping. She pulled herself deeper into the tunnel, leaving a trail of blood. When she was sure she was alone, she did something that made even look away. She found a power conduit running along the tunnel wall. She opened it, exposing the hot wires inside. Then she pressed her wounded arm against them. The smell of burning flesh filled the tunnel, stuffed her other fist in her mouth, and screamed silently as she cauterized her own wound. Tears ran down her face. Her vision went white with pain. When it was done, she took 3 deep breaths. Then she started moving again. "Impossible," said quietly. "No creature should be able to do that and keep fighting." "Humans can," replied. "We can ignore pain when we have to. We can push our bodies past every limit. We have been doing it for millions of years." She paused. "She is not going to stop. She cannot stop. It is not in our nature." On the ship, Captain Mox had received the reports. 8 of his crew were down, and no one had seen the attacker clearly. His pirates were scared, and scared pirates made mistakes. "It is one person," he growled over the ship's comm system. "Find them and kill them, now." But deep in the maintenance tunnels, heard his announcement and smiled through her pain. She checked her stolen pistol. She flexed her burned arm and felt the wound pull tight. One person, that was all she needed to be. She started moving again, hunting, following, never stopping, just like her ancestors had done for 1,000,000 years. The pirates did not know it yet, but they were already dead. They just had not fallen down yet. 4 hours had passed since the hunt began, had taken down 15 pirates. 15. Half the crew of the Endless Prophet was unconscious or dead, and the remaining half was falling apart. She could hear them on the ship's comm channels, shouting at each other. Some wanted to kill the hostages and run. Some wanted to surrender. Some did not believe there was really only one attacker. They thought it must be a team of soldiers, a whole squad hiding somewhere on the ship. They could not accept the truth. One small human woman was destroying them. Captain Mox had stopped giving orders. He had pulled his remaining crew back to the bridge and the cargo hold, abandoning the rest of the ship. Let the Ghost have the empty corridors. They would make their stand where they could see their enemy coming. But was not coming, not yet. She sat in a maintenance room checking her weapons. She had collected 3 pistols from fallen pirates, along with a knife and some emergency rations. Her arm throbbed where she had burned it, a constant reminder of her own fragility. She was tired. She was hurt. She had not slept in 20 hours. None of that mattered. His voice came through her earpiece. Status report. 15 down, 15 left. They have grouped up on the bridge in cargo hold. The hostages are still alive. Good, we are 4 hours away now. Can you hold? Laugh softly. I am not holding, I am finishing this. You have done enough. You can wait for backup. No, his voice was quiet but firm. Those people in the cargo hold are scared. They have been scared for hours. One of them is human. His name is, and he is probably wondering if anyone is coming to help. She paused. Help is already here. I am not going to make him wait any longer. There was silence on the comm channel. Then spoke again, and there was something like pride in her voice. I understand. Good hunting. Good hunting. Stood up, checked her weapons one more time, and moved toward the bridge. The corridor leading to the command center was brightly lit and completely empty. No cover, no shadows, nowhere to hide. It was a killing field designed to stop exactly what was trying to do. She walked down it anyway. The door to the bridge opened and stepped through. Captain Mox was waiting for her. He stood in the center of the room, 7 feet of muscle and scales, a massive rifle held in his clawed hands. Around him stood his 6 best fighters, all of them armed, all of them pointing their weapons at the small human woman who had destroyed half their crew. Mox studied her. She was smaller than he expected, young, covered in blood and burn marks and bruises. She should have looked broken. She was smiling. You are the one, Mox said slowly. One human, you killed my crew. I did. Why did you come here? You could have hidden until help arrived. You could have survived. Tilted her head slightly. There are 23 people in your cargo hold. They are scared. They are waiting for someone to save them. What kind of person would I be if I hid while they suffered? Mox made a sound that might have been a laugh, a living one. There are worse things than dying. Mox set down his rifle. His crew looked at him in confusion, but he waved them back. I have killed many species, he said. I have never fought a human. I want to know if the legends are true. I want to know if you really are what you claim to be. He stepped forward, spreading his arms wide. No weapons, just claws and scales and muscle. Set down her pistols. She pulled out her knife, the only weapon that seemed fair. Yes, she said, we are. Mox charged. He was fast, faster than something that big should be. His claws swept towards throat with enough force to tear her head from her shoulders. She was not there. Moved low under his reach, driving her knife toward his stomach. His scales turned the blade, but she had expected that. She was not trying to kill him with one strike. She was learning him, testing him, watching how he moved. Mox spun and caught her with a backhand that sent her flying across the room. She hit the wall hard enough to crack the display screen behind her. Something in her chest shifted in a way that meant broken ribs. She got up. Mox paused. He had hit other species the same way. They stayed down. They begged for mercy. This small creature was already back on her feet, still holding her knife, still smiling. Is that all? She asked. He came at her again and again. Each time he knocked her down, each time she got back up. The watching pirates shifted nervously. This was not how fights worked. Prey was supposed to give up. Prey was supposed to die. Was not prey. She was bleeding from a dozen cuts now. Her ribs screamed with every breath. One of her eyes was swelling shut. But she had learned what she needed to learn. She had watched Mox fight for 5 minutes, and now she knew his patterns. She knew his weaknesses. When he charged again, she did not dodge. She stepped into his attack, taking a claw across her shoulder that left deep gouges in her flesh. But it gave her the angle she needed. Her knife found the gap between the scales on his neck. It sank in 3 inches before she pulled it free. Mox stumbled. He pressed his hand to his throat and blood poured between his fingers. He stared at with something he had never felt before. Fear. How he choked out. Stood over him, swaying, barely able to stay on her feet. She was a ruin of blood and broken bones. She should have been dead 3 times over. You asked what we are, she said. We are the species that chased our prey until their hearts gave out. We are the species that climbed mountains and crossed deserts and conquered every environment our planet could throw at us. We are the species that refused to stop, no matter what. Mox fell to his knees. You are strong, continued, faster than me, better armed, better protected, but you do not have what we have. You do not have the ability to keep going when everything in your body is screaming at you to stop. She leaned closer. We do. That is why we are the apex predator, not because we are the strongest, because we are the most stubborn creatures in the entire universe. Mox collapsed. He was not dead, but he would not be getting up again. Turned to face the remaining pirates. They had weapons. She had a bloody knife and a broken body. She smiled at them anyway. Your captain is down, half your crew is down, I am still standing. She took 1 step toward them, then another. You can fight me, you might even win, but I promise you this, you will never forget what it cost you. The pirates looked at each other. They looked at their fallen captain. They looked at the small, broken, unstoppable human woman walking toward them. One by one, they dropped their weapons. The cargo hold said, "Release the hostages now." They obeyed. Prey always obeyed when they finally understood what they were dealing with. 30 minutes later, shuttle docked with the Endless Prophet. She found sitting against a wall in the cargo hold, surrounded by freed hostages. The human woman was barely conscious, holding together through sheer willpower. The human engineer knelt beside her. He was crying. You came, he said. You saved us. Managed a weak smile. I made a promise. Humans keep our promises. Knelt on's other side, taking in the damage. Broken ribs, deep cuts, burns, internal bleeding. By any reasonable measure, should have been dead hours ago. You did good, said softly. Looked up at her with her one good eye. They know now, she whispered. They know what we are. Then she finally let herself pass out, trusting that the hunt was over and the prey was safe. 1 week passed. The council chamber was full again, just like it had been when first arrived. Representatives from 40 species filled the rising seats, their attention focused on the central platform. But this time, no one was laughing. No one was dismissing the small creatures from the death world called Earth. Stood in the center of the platform, wearing formal diplomatic clothes. Beside her stood. His arm was in a regeneration cast. Her ribs were wrapped in medical bandages that glowed softly with healing technology. Her face still showed bruises from her fight with Mox. She stood straight anyway, looking out at the assembled aliens with steady eyes. The council had spent the week reviewing everything. The data files about Earth, the footage from the Endless Prophet, the testimony from the freed hostages. They had watched a single wounded human woman take down half a pirate crew and break their captain with nothing but determination and a knife. They had learned what humanity was capable of. Stepped forward. He looked different than he had a week ago. The dismissive arrogance was gone, replaced by something more careful. Ambassador, he said formally, security officer, the council has reviewed the evidence. We have reconsidered our initial assessment of humanity. I am glad to hear it, replied. We owe you an apology. The words seemed to cost something, but he said them anyway. We underestimated your species. We saw your small bodies and soft skin and assumed you were weak. We were wrong. You were not completely wrong, said. We are soft, we are small, we break easily, but we also heal, we adapt, and we do not give up, ever. Trade Master rose from his seat. The massive reptile had been quiet since watching's fight with Mox. Now he spoke for the first time. "I have been a warrior all my life," he said. "I have fought a dozen species. I thought I understood strength. But what I saw on that ship was something different, something I do not have words for." He paused. "Security officer, you fought with wounds that would have killed a soldier. You kept fighting when your body should have stopped working. How?" Thought about the question. Then she answered honestly. "Because I had to, because there were people counting on me, because giving up was not an option." She shrugged slightly. "That is how humans work. When something matters enough, we find a way. We always find a way." Nodded slowly. "My people would be honored to fight beside yours." "We would be honored to accept," said. Ambassador rose next. Her bioluminescent skin shifted through soft colors as she spoke. "I remember when you first told me about persistence hunting," she said too. "I did not truly understand until I watched Officer. She did not chase the pirates. She followed them, slowly, patiently, for hours, until they could not run anymore." Her colors shifted to deep blue. "That is the most frightening thing I have ever seen." "We know," said gently. "Our ancestors used to be frightening. We used to be monsters, but we are trying to be something better now." "What do you mean?" Stepped forward, addressing the entire council. "Humans did not come to the stars to hunt. We did not come here to conquer or dominate or prove that we are the most dangerous species in the galaxy. We already know we are dangerous. We have spent thousands of years trying to be more than that." She paused, letting her words settle. "The same determination that made us hunters also makes us builders. We build cities, machines, art, music. We build relationships that span generations. We build societies where the strong protect the weak instead of eating them." Images appeared on the display screens around the chamber. Human cities glittering with light. Hospitals where doctors worked to save lives. Schools where children learned. Musicians playing instruments. Artists creating beauty. "We are not proud of being apex predators," continued. "We are proud of choosing to be something more. We came here because we wanted to meet you, because we wanted to learn from you, because we wanted to be part of something bigger than ourselves." She smiled, and this time it was not the sharp smile of a hunter. It was the warm smile of someone offering friendship. "We are not here to dominate. We are here to belong." The chamber was silent for a long moment, then spoke again. "And if someone threatens you, if someone attacks Earth or harms humans or the people under your protection?" Smile did not waver, but something in her eyes shifted. Something old and patient and very, very dangerous. "Then they will learn why nothing on Earth ever managed to stop us," she said quietly. "We do not start fights, but we finish them, always." The council voted. It was not even close. Humanity was granted full membership in the Galactic Trade Council, not as prey, not as predators, as partners, as equals. After the ceremony, and walked together to the observation deck. The stars spread out before them, millions of lights in the endless darkness. "Do you think they will ever stop being afraid of us?" asked. Thought about the question. "Maybe, in time, as they get to know us better, as they see that we are not just hunters. And if they do not, then we will keep showing them who we really are, patient, stubborn, determined," smiled. "We will follow them into friendship the same way we used to follow prey, slowly, carefully, until they cannot run away anymore." Laughed, then winced at the pain in her ribs. "That sounds almost romantic." "Maybe it is." Looked out at the stars. "We crossed oceans and mountains and deserts to spread across our world. We built rockets and space stations to spread across our solar system. And now we are here, ready to spread across the galaxy. Not because we have to, because we cannot stop reaching for more." "The most stubborn species in the universe," said. "Exactly." They stood together in comfortable silence, two small humans looking out at an endless universe. So many worlds to explore, so many species to meet, so many friendships to build. Behind them, the council species were still processing what they had learned. They would be processing for a long time. A species that never gave up. A species that turned predators into pets. A species that came from a death world and conquered it through nothing but determination. Some of them would always be afraid of humans. That was okay. Fear and respect were not so different. But some of them, would look at humanity and see something else. Something hopeful. A species that had been monsters and chose to be friends. A species that had the power to destroy and chose to build instead. Those were the ones who would accept humanity's friendship. Those were the ones who would learn that the most dangerous predators in the galaxy were also, somehow, the most loyal friends anyone could ask for. Turned away from the window and looked at. "Ready to go home?" she asked. Nodded. "Ready, but I think I will be back. Someone has to show these aliens what humans are really made of." Stubborn determination and spite. And a lot of heart. They walked together toward the shuttle bay, leaving Station 12 behind. Earth was waiting for them, that beautiful blue marble spinning in the darkness. The death world that had made them what they were. The apex predators who chose to be something more. And somewhere in the galaxy, in council chambers and military headquarters and peaceful homes, aliens looked up at the stars and wondered what those strange humans would do next. The answer was simple. Whatever it took. For as long as it took. Because that was what humans did. They never, ever stopped.